Hey guys, Celeste here. Signed by Celeste is my notary name, and welcome to my channel, Holy Ship and Print. Today I am just working on just my average daily operations, which includes things like lamination, printing, notary services, and faxing, copying. So all the regular shipping store stuff. But I wanted to have a conversation while I get some of these laminated sheets together, just about some things that I did not know in this industry when I started. Okay, so let's talk about some stuff I didn't know, because we don't have any kind of formal training other than some of the associations and things that I talk about before in other videos about what to do in certain situations, or even resources that we might be able to use if we are not able to do things in-house. So I want this video to be more about creating a forum where we can have conversations about things we need to know in this industry and others, things that just might be helpful to business owners who are in shipping stores or just have small businesses or retail businesses, so that we can basically make sure we're as efficient as possible while trying to keep our businesses growing. Okay, first things first, what kind of shipping software are you using? I would love to know who's using Postalmate, who's using Shipwright, who is using maybe a new software, like one that's been created. There are a couple that I've heard of. I'm gonna find the names and maybe put it in the video here. I do know that Napoleon is creating one. I don't know if it's gonna be released to the public anytime soon, because he's still working out some things for himself as he uses it, from my understanding, at least from watching as a fan. But I do know also that there was one that was being created by, what is it called? Shiptastic or something like that. I have to look. I will look and I will find the names and I will post them here if they actually are out and in existence. But who do you use for your postal shipping software? That is what I'd like to know. Right now I'm using Postalmate. I don't have that many issues with Postalmate, so I really am just kind of trying to find out what is most convenient for everybody that's in this industry, because I definitely want to make sure I'm not using anything antiquated or, old school specifically that doesn't need to, be old school. Like if I can use something more modernized that is more convenient, maybe on a cell phone or something, that I can use that will travel with me, I would love to do something like that, because I have some ideas about how I can expand in this business if I have that capability. So let me know below who you use and how it's working. And there was actually another set of guys that reached out to me who was using something else. I will put that here too, because I can't think of the name of them either, but I know that they had a very convenient and modern way for you to upload mail to your customers. So if you were using something like Scan Mail or another software similar to that, then you would be able to replace this and Postalmate, I believe, and or Shipwright, or one of the larger companies, and combine those two types of services and use it mobily with these guys. So I will post their names because they were going to allow me a trial. And I just decided at this moment, while I'm still trying to build my business, it was just not a good time for me to be trying something new on my customers. And I believe it didn't work with Package Hub, if I am not mistaken. So because I have my UPS account through Package Hub, I didn't want to mess with that either. So that being said, I would love to know what kind of software you guys use, and how it's working for you, and then also just what you would suggest to a pack and ship store that's still trying to grow some more and wants convenience and modern details. I just don't want to lose the reliability that I've had through Postalmate so far, because I don't have issues with my Postalmate really. I know they do updates and they have little things that get updated, or little errors that get fixed quickly. So I don't really have a problem. I just would love the ability to be able to be mobile if I can, because I have some ideas about how I can increase business to my shipping store if I had a mobile application. So if you have one, you've tried one, you want to try one, let me know below. I kind of want to make this, like I said, an open forum for people who are in this industry, people who are looking to get into the industry, to get some information that maybe they might be able to utilize somewhere in our comments, as they open their stores or grow their stores. So I'm gonna talk while I finish this job here that I am doing, which is just laminating some black and white sheets for a friend of mine who has a project going with one of her businesses, her family business. So I appreciate her for giving me the opportunity to assist her with a small print job and lamination, because that is one of the things that my company offers, and most pack and ship stores do offer lamination, and of course we typically offer printing as well. While I'm doing this, I just want to chat a little bit about some of the things that I've done this week and decided to kind of try to add to the business or change. So I don't know how many of you are notaries, and if you're a notary, hopefully you're getting some good business with your notary services. But I was not so I was a notary, and of course any notary can be a mobile notary. All you have to do is be willing to travel. Most of the time. I don't know the state rules, so don't quote me on this, but I believe you can if you're a notary, because it just means that you will travel to some other place in your state. It has to be within your state guidelines. So I'm doing more mobile notary services. I actually performed a service at the hospital this past week, for the first time. It was the first time I ever went to the hospital for something, and it was because this person's mother is elderly, and it wasn't just that they were in the hospital, but she's elderly, and so her condition was kind of changing and things like that, and she was still, competent and capable of signing, but she couldn't, get anywhere. Obviously, if you're in the hospital, you can't just leave, but also she may be there a while. So they wanted to, do some things like power of attorney, and check with the guidelines in your state for the things that you can and can't do as a notary. Of course, because I can't give anybody advice that's outside of Illinois, because I call every single time I have a question with anything that has to do with notary services. If I don't know the answer, I don't pretend to know it. I definitely will call the National Notary Association, because I am a part of that association. So I do that because I don't want to have problems. I want to make sure I'm providing the service properly, and that I don't have issues with my own commission eventually. And I don't mean money. I mean, I don't want to have to I don't want to be revoked as a notary. So I would like to make sure that things that I'm doing are done the correct way. So I utilize that hotline. Yeah, I call it all the time. If I have a question, I'm gonna call. I don't care that you may have heard from me earlier in the week. If I don't know something, I'm asking. So don't be afraid to use the National Notary Association hotline, because they will answer your questions. They get you to the right department when you say you have a notary question regarding your situation, your particular situation in your state, and they will look up information if they don't know it. So I'd rather be safe than sorry when I'm performing a service that is a legal service, and has my name on the line. So make sure y'all are doing that. Use all your resources Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't, you know, it does not make you not look like an expert to ask a question on the customer's behalf, because you're asking on the customer's behalf also. You want to make sure you're not doing this document wrong for them either. You don't want them to have to do it over again, and you also don't want to have any issues if you've done it and then something goes awry. So make sure you use that number. So I performed this service. I was able to charge a fee, of course, for traveling to perform this notary service. So I just charged my regular stamp price, which in Illinois is only $5, but I charged my regular stamp price and then a mobile fee based on how far I was going. The legal mileage rate is 70 cents a mile in, well, you know, the federal mileage rate is 70 cents per mile. So I charge that per mile, but then I have a fee for doing it on site. So you decide on what that fee needs to be based on how long you think you'll be there. I did ask in advance how many stamps they believe they need, how many signatures they believe they needed, how many people would be there, how many witnesses, and so on and so forth. So just make sure you're asking all the right questions prior to going. My other tip about going is obviously you're going to be on site. You won't have access to everything that you normally have. I do have a mobile printer and I have a mobile hotspot, so I am able to make sure that I have access to the internet. I'm also able to make sure that I can print things if I need something reprinted, if we mess something up, or I just need additional forms. Make sure you bring a stapler for adhering the document to another document, especially if you're adding a certificate, and then pens, because there was not an extra pen in that room, so I'm so glad I had pens. And of course, I mean, obviously you have to sign, so make sure you have a pen. But in my bag, and I can show you guys my notary bag again just to show you what's in there, but in my bag is my notary journal. I have my stamp. Those are the two most important things. Make sure you have a pen, the stapler for adhering certificates if you have them. I pre-printed certificates for most situations prior to going, so I just have a little like plastic binder that I keep those certificates in, so that I have a few copies of each. I probably have 5 to 10 copies of each certificate. Then I have a stapler, I have Post-it notes, I have pens, and I have the stamp journal, and I even bring my laptop and a printer. So you don't have to have those things for a mobile appointment, but they do help. They are helpful. Definitely ask those questions that you need to ask in advance, so you can make sure that if there's something else for any reason that you have it. Some people even bring like a mobile photo printer, because sometimes people need a photograph with their notarized paperwork. Now, I had never done that before until I got something prepared for somebody. Hey, sorry. No, you're fine. Have a good day. All right, I got my FedEx delivery. I'm gonna have to ask him if I can keep that in or not. He might not let me. But anyway, so you just wanna make sure that that you have everything that you need, and that if there is something that you might have to do, that you're prepared to do it mobily. That's what made it worth it for me, because I was only 15 miles away, but it took about 29 minutes to get to and from, you know, each way. So that's a long way. And I mean, and now I don't think we were around any kind of Staples. It was after hours. So like all of those places were about to close, because it was about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So, you know, you just want to make sure you're as prepared as possible when you are doing a mobile appointment. Okay, so I just got off of a call that was calling about notary services. Because that has picked up for me. So that's kind of why I started there, just because it's been a very lucrative part of this business for me. And I explained in one of my earlier videos that I had never even used my stamp in a couple years when I first got the notary commission, until I opened this store. So it is a good source of income for me. It is a good source of bringing people in here. They have become return customers when they've come in for notary services. So I'm very grateful to have this commission. I do have to, mine is good until 2027, but they have added a class and a course that you have to go through and pass. And I will be able to do that for Ron Notary Services, which I did not do. So I am not an online notary at this time, but I am gonna do that as well because a lot of my mailbox clients have asked, aside from coming in to fill out the 1583, they have also asked if we do online notary services, and I will do that for them. And I'll probably do it at a discounted rate because they're using me instead of going through another service. So just to give them some incentive to use me. But I just think that's a good idea. If you are an online notary and you have a ship center or mailbox store, I would advise that you give your clients a little bit of incentive to use you, as long as there's no guideline through whatever service you're using that charges you more than, you know, it would make sense to give them a discount for. But yeah, I'm gonna give a discount. I think most of the fees are $25, and if that's not standard and regulated, then why not give them, you know, a $20 charge for doing your online notary service if that's what it would cost. You know, if it would cost a little bit more for them to use another service, just for them going with you and sticking with your store. So that is just my little 2 cents about that. So let's see, what else did I learn? I wanted to ask, are any of you getting paid by UPS in a new way? Because I just recently saw some emails that I had missed for the last month, probably, in regards to my payments for my drop-offs here for UPS. And it looks like I'm supposed to be using a certain companies. I'm not sure if I want to even give all that information because I haven't been able to do the research to make sure it's real. I did call to say, am I supposed to be doing this? And nobody has called me back. But if you all know or noticed that recently there was a change in how UPS was paying us commissions for the drop-offs, please mention what you can or what you feel comfortable with below, because I'm just trying to make sure it's not a phishing email because it's telling me to pay myself on my credit card machine for my commissions and giving me a number and giving me a certain date that I can use that credit card up until, but I've never done that before and I've gotten paid by UPS, so I just don't know if this is something new and if they wouldn't have said anything to me because I didn't get anything directly from them. But I have some emails from this company saying, yeah, we partnered with them, so go ahead and use it. I want to do it, but I also don't, you know, UPS, give me the heads up, give me the okay, give me the thumbs up, so that I can go in and take this payment. But I'm waiting on a call back on that. So if anybody has any info on that, or you've recently also received these emails and you were a bit confused, or you used it and it worked and you didn't have any chargebacks or feedback that was negative from it, let us know below so that we know it's cool to do. So there was that. Hello there. I was able to finish with a notary client that stopped in, and now I'll finish my last couple sheets preparing for lamination. I think my sign fell. It was actually what I was notarizing just now was a letter that is going to another country, and a lot of times you have to prove who you are when you're sending the letter internationally. And so she was proving who she was before sending her letter. And if they have, well, I can't give you these rules because I don't know that it's everywhere, but if you are in a state where they don't have stipulations about whether or not you understand the language that their letter is in, because we can't legally explain things to people anyway as notaries. If you are not, a specific type of agent, then yeah, I was able to notarize her form that was going to Croatia because it was just attaching a acknowledgement certificate of her signature that she was who she says she is, and I did that by proof via her driver's license. And that's all you really have to do in a state that doesn't have any restrictions against that. And I wasn't recording during the session. I also had gotten a phone call from her before she came in that I made sure that I thought I was actually recording, because that would have been good for my B-roll. But I didn't get that. I wasn't recording. So anyway, I am done with these 14 sheets to laminate for my friend. So I'm gonna go turn on the laminator and get these going before she comes to pick them up. So I have my laminate sheets next to me, and the laminator is ready. So I'm just going to feed this through. Okay. And I can talk to y'all while I do this, because this is gonna take a minute since I have 14 of these. So anyway, what sorts of added services have you found that are not typical that you've added to your ship center, your shipping business? I kind of went down a rabbit hole. When I say rabbit hole, I mean I literally went from notary services to fingerprinting to DNA. And before DNA, I was actually looking at doing drug testing and breath alcohol testing. So it actually comes full circle from another business that I've had for over 20 years, but it's way different than shipping. But I'm adding it to this place. All right, laminated sheet number 1, ready to go. I will do the next one. So let me tell you how that has been going. For the most part, I have tried to find things that make sense to add to this business. And there are just so many different aspects of business in general that make sense as an add-on to this business. I literally know some people who are just doing the things that they've always done, like crafts, or let's just say they have a gift shop. So they add things that they've crocheted to their gift shop. That is a way to add revenue into this space. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with shipping, other than the fact that you can ship internationally if you make product, post it online, and ship it yourself. Not even internationally, domestically as well. What can you add to your business? What are you going to add? That's my question. I'm gonna finish laminating and then we can get back to business. So before I get to talking again, I just want to show you all how easy this is. Like if they print something and it is letter size, you can use the regular basic Amazon Basics laminator. It does letter size in 3.5 millimeter and 5 millimeter size sheets. I did also buy a larger cold laminator that can do up to 19 inches in width, I believe, either 17 or 19 inches in width. So it's much bigger than a regular sheet of paper. So I bought that as well because some people just needed things that they consider poster size, which is a little bit bigger than the width on this one. All right, I'm gonna sit here and finish these while I talk to y'all just about other aspects of our industry. I kind of have spoken before on this, but let me be clear. when I got into this business, I honestly got into it because I am over 40. I have had a business for over 22 years. That was brick and mortar, and that I went to just about every day. And I was looking for something that I could retire from that would be more relaxing. So everything that I found about the shipping industry seemed simple enough. All right, so I got into it, and with simple enough in mind, I was thinking, okay, it's just gonna be mail, so it's not gonna be something, high inventory, high overhead. I was thinking all of those things when I had this type of business in mind. But what I have learned being in this business, professional sheet number 5. All right, what I've learned being in this business is that it does have to do with the mail, obviously, but here, at least at my store, it's been more about building community. And it has so many different aspects to it that have kind of brought me to add services that I never even would have expected to bring into this store, like DNA, for instance. I am actually about complete solutions, hence the name Wholly. My Wholly is not spelled H-O-L-Y, it's W-H-O-L-L-Y. I wanted to be the whole solution for an industry that I thought was just going to be about shipping and postal stuff, but really I'm a whole solution for getting a job. I'm a whole solution for starting a business. I'm a whole solution for sending your loved ones care packages. I'm a whole solution for you getting your immigration status verified. I'm a whole solution for you getting a job for the government or for a school system or medical agency. I am more than just a postal solution. I am I'm a community resource and a solution to progression. That's how I feel. I don't know how else to describe it. But again, so in this space, I'm in here not just handing people mail when they show me an ID. I'm hearing stories. I'm remembering to ask. So you told me about a birthday party the last time you were in here. That was a month and a half ago, but I remember you when you come back. I'm going to ask how the birthday party was, because that's just the type of customer service I have. I don't want you to think you're a number in here. I don't want you to think that I don't remember you or don't know your name or any of those things. So I do my best to actually make sure that I am remembering the details, and it's helpful to my brain because, like I said, I didn't expect to want to work until retirement because I wanted to retire early. I did think I would be able to, but if I have to work, I'd rather it be on my terms. So that's what this place is for me. It's on my terms, and it's a source that I can retire from, but it is absolutely on my terms. I hope that is the same for you guys. I hope everything is going, it's best for you and it is on your terms. I talked a little bit about getting a FedEx package the other day and how it helped me learn how to pack a box in a certain way, and it also gives me certain little besides ideas, it gives me things that I can reuse in packages that are made in that way. Like, it's very rare that I would have a very tall, slim box. So when you get something in a very tall, slim box, keep that very tall, slim box, because a lot of times you don't have to charge the customer for it, but you can at least ship their package. Like, if it's a reused box, you don't have to charge them for it, or you can probably charge them at a lesser rate for it. But as long as it's a good box and it works for the item, that's all you need. So make sure you're keeping those oddly shaped boxes. Is just something that I make sure I do. I have a little area for them. So when they send me like posters and they're in that super flat cardboard, that's just a piece of cardboard and there's another piece on the other side, it's perfect for things that I'm sending that are like posters that I don't want bent. So of course I'm gonna keep that because I don't want to buy a pallet of them if I'm not doing that much shipping like that. I'm not shipping anything specialty like that often. So I don't want to buy a pallet of those boxes if I don't have to. But if I can keep the versions of things that have been sent to me that are similar, yeah, I'm gonna do that and use that all day. And like I said, if I gotta just charge them nothing or $1 for the box, fine by me, because I'm still charging them to ship it. So they're also appreciative of me finding something that works for their item. So chances are you'll have a repeat customer from that. So basically what I was saying was getting those FedEx packages from them was more than just receiving free posters. It was a lesson in the way that they would professionally pack posters and or any other signage that they didn't want to have their client receive bent in any way or jostled around. They had a couple extra pieces of like similar to parchment paper attached, and then they also had some thinner cardboard in there protecting the posters that they were sending. There was a separation between the two so that they didn't get stuck together in case it was warm. And then there was also extra added safety in the box. So what I'm basically saying is if you get items from them, especially if they're free, it's going to tell you how they would pack those specific items. I definitely remember when I got my FedEx sign, it had these foam corners to protect it. There was also some wood cardboard, like hard corners. I saved those and I used that to ship a very expensive piece of art. So take notes when you get things from them. Make sure you're taking notes about how they pack things, because they are packing professionals typically, and they've been trained to do it in a certain way. And since we don't get any real formal training, even though we get something online and we get some practice with experience, we don't have formal training. So take notes whenever you receive any of those professional packages, especially if you can order things for free. Get them from them and see how they pack them. Use that to your advantage. Okay, so as you may be able to see in this video, I do have an Epson EcoTank printer. That is kind of new for me. I bought it specifically so that I could do a job for my best friend whose niece was graduated high school and heading off to college, and she wanted potato chip bags as her party favors. So I did invest in being able to create party favors for my niece, which is my best friend's niece. And I had some issues. I had to convert the printer to sublimation because I want to be able to use it for sublimation prints. So I tried that and the colors just would not come out properly. So I have been working on that. I wound up having to print my potato chip bags on my regular printers because I couldn't use this EcoTank to do it. So I'm still working on the color situation. I do like how the printer works. Other than the colors. So once I figure that part out, I'll share a little bit more. But if anybody has any tips or tricks about how to get this EcoTank ET3850 to print in the right colors, especially when I'm using sublimation paper or glossy paper for like photo type prints, I would greatly appreciate it. You have an appointment today?
Yes.
Okay. No problem.
That's it.
That was it. You were so welcome. Have a great day. Stop. Okay. That was a fingerprint appointment. It was not supposed to necessarily take as long as it did. Nothing really happened. We just had to do a couple fingers a couple times. Speaking of that, if you're getting into fingerprinting, just know the trade-off is that it's going to introduce people to your business. That's the main trade-off, because it's only going to pay you a few dollars per time, for the time that you're taking. But you may make some clients out of it. So I find it a pro, even though some people think it's a con. It's a pro for me. And if you're looking for a company that you can do live scan prints with, check out Field Print to see if they are available in your area or if your territory. And then there's also Identigo if you want to do fingerprints through live scan and or TSA. Because TSA is another large industry that if you're capable of getting in, get into it. I just have 2 more sheets to laminate. I just want to say, to finish this video off, that I am very excited about this industry. There are things that try to become obstacles, and I'm very good at overcoming obstacles and like basically bombarding my way through barricades. So I don't let them discourage me, but I also don't want them to discourage you. If you have a partner, or if you have had a business partner in the past, or you're thinking about getting into this business with a business partner, make sure they're on the same page with you, because things can get discouraging from time to time if they don't see the money coming in, if they weren't in it specifically just to find some peace and still have a business, because some people are really just getting into this for the money, and the money may come at a later time. I will say I definitely see an increase based on every new mail client that I receive virtually. Of course, all the clients that come in that get a physical mailbox, it's an increase in my monthly revenue. So eventually it begins to add up. I probably have 120 or 130 mailbox clients now, but before getting to that point, I didn't know where all the money would be coming from for even just affording this place. I still need to double that in order to just have that be revenue enough to kind of start to sustain this business a little bit. That still won't quite do it, but aside from that, just having that amount of mailbox clients does make it so that I'm not struggling in a sense of like wondering where my next dollar is going to come from. I definitely need that next dollar to happen so that I can make more profit, but I'm at least not ultra concerned about where the money for the actual bills for this place will come from. Now, the thing that we all know as business owners is that we don't get into the industry so that we can just cover the bills, right? We're in the industry so that we can make money. We want to help people and we want to make money. Those are our 2 goals. So it is helpful to gain clients so that you wind up having more peace of mind. The more clients that I have, even through iPostal and Anytime Mailbox as virtual mailboxes, though they take half or whatever amount they take, may not be half, but whatever amount they take of the money that's being paid to me, I'm still making enough to feel very comfortable with doing the work that I do for that part of the business. So basically, the compensation for the amount of work that I do for Anytime Mailbox and iPostal is worth it, but it takes a lot of clientele to get to a point where you feel like you can sustain a business with that money and maybe that money alone. So, I don't know how many of you started with iPostal and Anytime Mailbox in a place where, let me turn this off. Make sure you turn your laminator off because it gets really, really hot. But in a place where you don't have a whole lot of iPostals or Anytime Mailbox near you, but there's quite a few in my area. So people have to choose my location, which is why I think it took some time for me to get up to the amount of clientele that I have currently. But I give them reasons to choose me. So I'm hoping that continues, because some people are choosing like a $9.99 plan, and just imagine you're getting half of that. Or whatever the case, half, 60, 40%, whatever the amount of percentages that you get on your contract with Anytime Mailbox or iPostal, you're getting what you're getting, and it's not like a full monthly mailbox rental unless they choose higher packages. So just know that as long as that person is not getting, 100 pieces of mail a month, that you may not see much from that person that you're getting $10 to $12 to $15 from per month. There may not be much mail. So there's not a whole lot for you to handle. They're just kind of running in the background. And I said that on TikTok one day, that I have mailbox money running in the background, even though I still have to do things in order to get paid from this business. There are mailboxes that are subscribed to that don't ever get any mail. So those funds are coming to me because they chose my location, but there's not even a whole lot for me to do for those people. And then when I do get mail, I'm scanning it and I'm getting paid for scanning the mail. So this is great for me, and it's great for me to watch it build, and it's great for me to provide myself hope that if I just get enough of that business, then I can kind of relax a little bit about where the money's coming from. So I hope the same for you all. I'm not going to keep rambling here. Anything else that I want to add to the video, I will do so. Similar, like maybe what's in my notary bag, because I know that that's a question for some people who do this business and are notaries. And I did my first mobile notary service, like I mentioned. But then also ways that you can add additional businesses that are not traditional to this industry, but they can provide you some additional income. So I hope this episode has been somewhat helpful, somewhat entertaining, maybe even eye-opening in some way. Thanks for chilling with me. And let's see, what is today? Today is September 5th. Today is September 5th. My husband's birthday is on Sunday, so happy birthday to my husband. And then I want y'all to have a great weekend. I hope you all had a great Labor Day, and I will talk to y'all soon.